Thanks for joining us. I'm Amy Lutz. A new chapter. Local vets tell their stories. We begin in Franklin County. A Chambersburg Marine Corps veteran and paratriathlete who suffered a tragedy finds a new purpose in life. Fox 43's Paula Bayoso has more on the story of one veteran who did not let his tragedy define him.
Zach Stinson from Chambersburg initially joined the military because he liked training and physical activity.
It blossomed into more of gaining a lot more from the Marine Corps, leadership abilities, having all these experiences. I mean, by the time I was 23, I had experienced most of the stuff that some people will never even experience.
Zach deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2010. It would also be his last. A few months into deployment, Zach and his squad were conducting an after-action damage assessment when he stepped on an improvised explosive device.
I stepped down with my left leg, and it's just boom, like a pogo stick. My ears are ringing. There's dust everywhere. And I promise you, I'm flying through the air in slow motion. I knew exactly what had happened.
After Zach hit the ground, his squad immediately came to his rescue.
The first thing that happened was I wanted my guys to tell my wife I loved her.
His wife was pregnant with their first child.
First phone call in Afghanistan, we had found out that we were pregnant. So she was, at this point, 4 months along. And I was like, okay, well, this kid's going to grow up without a dad.
Thankfully, Zach was alive, but he didn't know the extent of his injuries.
I knew something was up because, one, nobody would give me a direct answer. And two, I still couldn't move.
The blast resulted in Zach losing both of his legs above the knee, some fingers, and having other internal injuries. Zach has had more than 30 surgeries and spent about 2 years in the hospital. During this time, Zach and his family were supported by many people, including the Semper Fi and America's Fund, a nonprofit that provides lifetime support to combat wounded veterans and their families.
There was a point of where I was just like, the world is going to keep on spinning. It doesn't care if you have a positive attitude or a negative attitude. But it's going to keep moving, and you can either move with it or you can stay back here and be miserable.
And move forward he did. A few years later, he decided to give paratriathlon a go. He had found his new passion.
Dad, keep going!
I did it. I was pretty good at it, and we've been fully committed to this type of triathlon, the sprint distance, probably for about the past 2 years.
Zach has been in about 9 competitions, nationally and internationally.
This year we raced in Florida, Spain. We just got back from Portugal.
And in a few weeks, he'll be heading to the 2022 World Triathlon Championship Finals in Abu Dhabi.
750 meters on the swim. It's a 20K on the bike, which I believe translates to 12.4 miles.
Zach has been training every day at the Chambersburg Memorial YMCA.
Tightening up on training. I had a meeting with my coach yesterday on what we need to do going forward to be as prepared as we can. He's based out of South Carolina, so he just sends me the workouts.
His ultimate goal is to compete in the 2024 Paralympics. But until then, he remains grateful for the opportunities he's had, as well as for having a second chance at life.
Doors have just been open that I don't think should have been, or really it's just a miracle that I'm even where I'm at. In my mind, I should have died 12 years ago. So I'm trying to be obedient in where I need to be.
If you like to support or keep up with Zach and his journey, we'll have a link to his website on fox43.com. Paula Bayoso, Fox 43 News.
Local veterans are honoring those who have served our country and died. The Military Forces Honor Guard travels the area, making sure those who have served get military honors at their funeral. Photojournalist Nick Waldner shows us one of the services and what it means to the Guard members that perform the duty.
Ready, aim, fire, fire, fire. I am a disabled veteran. I have Parkinson's disease secondary to my Agent Orange exposure. but I can still do it, and and I'm going to do it as long as I can.
I felt I owed it to my fellow veterans to give them the proper ceremonies that they need.
I'm in my 27th year of participating in this and volunteering.
I think it's been 24 years now. I was with the initial group.
I'm 80 years old and I've been doing this for 20 years. I don't know how long I have left to do this, but we do need volunteers.
We had to learn how to fire the weapons, load the weapons, and present the flag, fold the flag. Folding the flag is probably one of the more difficult parts because it's got to come out right when it gets passed up to the squad leader and and presented to the family member.
It's touching at times. The first time I did it, as soon as I started to give the flag, the woman started to cry, and that was very emotional.
And then getting those 3 rounds to go off exactly the same time for all the rifles.
Duty, honor, country is what these empty shells mean. They are placed in a bag. The bag is presented to the recipient of the flag.
Under guard, hut, and hunt.
Well, each one's different, and you never know what you're going to run into at the cemetery.
I know how much of a sacrifice it is to do that service, and all gave some and some gave all. So I just want everyone to be recognized, and I'm very proud to do it.
I think about retiring, but I don't know, you just get going and you don't want to give it up.
Well, military burial honors are provided to veterans with an honorable discharge at no cost. Families should request the honors through the funeral director. Welcome back to a new chapter, a Fox 43 special. We are highlighting local vets and their lives after service. And that includes the strong women who have signed up, trained, and fought to serve the United States. Fox 43 photojournalist David Loback spoke with a woman who served her country, then transitioned that career into helping fellow veterans.
It's the best job ever. Normally I'm in my car. I'm anywhere from Philadelphia to Erie. I go to my nursing homes. I go to the prisons. I go to the homeless shelters. I go to all of our community partners, the nonprofits that are running these shelters, that are running the food banks.
All right, see you guys. Take care.
If you've served in the military, you've come to really have a passion for serving other people and a purpose bigger than yourselves. And I think there's no greater good than giving back to the veterans of this Commonwealth. Veterans tend to have a higher percentage of homelessness than non-veterans. We need to make sure that we have housing for them, affordable housing, and it's not just those that are homeless. We have people facing housing insecurity and food insecurity, so we need to make sure we take care of those veterans. Females are the fastest growing demographic in the armed forces. When I joined, it was probably about 10% of the population were women. Today it's close to 20%, and by 2025 it'll be close to 25%. Women have unique issues after they've left service. Females are 2.5 times more likely to commit suicide than the male counterparts, and they are just as likely to be homeless. And I think it's been ignored for many years, and we're addressing that issue. We're recognizing that many women are coming to us needing shelters, needing care, needing help.
You can't ride in my little red wagon!
When I went to Haiti on 10th Mountain Division, I was the only female on an aircraft with all men. You did not have a lot of peers to really talk to and to work through things with. You kind of were by yourself. And many women, I think, felt very isolated at many times during their career. It's important to have peers, to have someone to talk to have people to experience with you so you don't feel lonely. So you could cry. You could actually show emotions that men might think are weak. We've come such a long way for women in the military. It's really exciting. I would tell young girls now to go and be anything you can be. You want to be a fighter pilot, you want to command a Navy ship, you want to go in a submarine, all options are open. And that means that you could be a 4-star general. They're at the tables where you're changing the policies, where you're sitting down in the Pentagon, telling them what the policy should be, how women should be treated equal. Now that we have people at the table with the voice, it's gotten better. And as more women and more voices are heard, policies change, and that's what makes a change. The glass ceilings are all shattered, and women can do anything. So I thank the women that came before me. And I talk to women that are in ROTC. They don't see themselves as any different as a male. They just consider themselves as a service member, and they want to do the best job in whatever job the military needs them to do, and that's exciting. I will tell you the coolest thing about the military, you will build kinships and bonds with people from all walks of life. Oh, Vietnam. And it was getting to know those soldiers that I realized I wanted to serve them, that I knew them and I could help them and I could advocate for them and I could take care of them.
Whenever you need me.
Whatever they need. So the day that they raise their right hand to support and defend the Constitution of the United States until we give them their last funeral honors and take care of their families, we want to make sure whatever that veteran needs, he receives or she receives.
Well, if you are a veteran, you can reach out to PA Vet Connect to get in touch with some providers. Well, different periods of service, but similar tales to tell. Fox 43's Evan Forrester helps tell the story of 3 eras: World War II, Vietnam, and the War on Terror from men who served in each period.
I was drafted in middle part of 65.
So I went in 2008. Joined the Army right after college.
I joined the Merchant Marine at 1944, early 1944.
No regrets. The sentiment Tommy Dunston of Berks County expressed after a long night during the monsoon season in Vietnam after seeing his life flash before his eyes.
We were in a bad area. We had been there before. We got hit with rockets and mortars, and then we got hit with a ground attack. And they were coming after us pretty heavy all night long, to the point I was point blank range with a 105 house. They're firing a 60-pound bullet. So it was a pretty rough night, but I don't regret one bit of it. I grabbed it as it came out of the breach, threw it in the air, and it wound up in a pile of other canisters. But I was able to get my hands onto it. You can see how it's all dented up and everything. I mean, this is reality. This thing's not even shined or anything. It's the way they are.
War on Terror veteran Sean Messett from York County may have served decades after Tommy, but he too knows how it feels to face imminent danger. Both men say war shaped them into the men they are today.
Daily firefights, daily IEDs. You don't really know who is the enemy within the area of operation that you're operating in, because they blend in so well. So that is just another element of struggle. It's not like back in the day, like, here's the line, we know you're on that side, we're on this side, and we're gonna battle it out. Now it's just they walk amongst you, and when they're ready to attack, they'll attack. It's my Purple Heart. It's a weird feeling because you're proud of it, but you're also, as they say, it's like the enemy's combat ribbon. They got you. You know, but very lucky and very grateful to walk away from that with all my limbs and still have my life.
Bill Balabanoff of Lancaster County is a World War II veteran. He served as a merchant marine. While he did not fight in hand-to-hand combat like Tommy and Sean, he did help deliver crucial supplies like food and ammunition to soldiers.
The Army and the Navy stormed the beaches, and we stormed them right after that, bring them the food and the munitions. We carried 95% of the goods.
Last year, for his 30-plus years of service, Bill received a big honor in the nation's capital.
Last year, the U.S. Merchant Marine of World War II was awarded Congressional Gold Medal down in Washington.
Bill and Tommy say they were excited to return to the States after their long time serving overseas. They just weren't ready for the negative reaction they received from some in the public.
As a matter of fact, they really were negative. Many people believe in that area in that area that we were draft dodgers. We weren't draft dodgers. We fought to get in and then fought to stay in. So we wanted to do our part, and we did.
I came home 30 days after getting overrun with the mentality of, this is going to be it. I did it. I'm going to be the proud person of my hometown, little hometown USA, and I'm going to be in the parade, and I'm going to be able to go to the VFW and the American Legion. I was dead wrong.
Tommy says war is not pretty.
This right here is napalm. That black smoke is napalm. That's how close they were bringing the napalm in.
Tommy understands there are people who will always be against going to war, but he believes every American should be proud of our country and its veterans, especially on Veterans Day.
This is America. This is where we were born and trained. This is it. And I'm very proud of this country. No matter what goes on, we've gotten this far, and the country's always held its own.
Veterans Day is a day to celebrate the men and women in uniform today, but Veterans Day and Memorial Day always mesh, you know, because every day is Memorial Day, every day is Veterans Day for us as we remember these guys that gave everything for this country.
Evan Forrester, Fox 43 News.
Welcome back to a new chapter of Fox 43 Special. We are highlighting local vets and their lives after service. Fox 43 photojournalist Nick Vito spoke with a Cumberland County nonprofit organization that is helping veterans train their own service dogs.
Good girl. What a good girl. Did you do it?
Yeah. Good. Dog Tags was named by the veterans, the people that originally started it. Dog train, assist, guide, and serve. The program is for veterans that are service connected with PTSD and TBI. What we do is we let these individuals come and train hopefully their own dog if the dog's suitable. Otherwise, we'll help them get a dog. But they strictly do all the training.
That's your friend. With me. I was a pilot in the Air Force and retired. The VA recommended that a service dog would be very helpful for me. Light. Good boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've honestly noticed over the years of having Ollie, it's improved my life dramatically in a lot of ways as far as allowing a degree of calmness to daily routines.
So it's our job with people that are a loss for maybe some of their memory or being able to follow instructions that we may have to drill into them until it becomes muscle memory, what they have to do. If he starts getting too that's better. That was a good correction. Whenever you see the breakthroughs that these dogs give these guys, or the bond that you see forming, it's beautiful. I mean, it's just amazing to see the things they can do as a team.
I used to have some pretty bad bouts of depression. And I would just sit in my recliner and try to pretend the world wasn't there. And he would come over and he'd just lay his head on a footrest and look at me as if he was saying, checking in, you doing all right? He helps me with some of my mobility issues, like getting out of a chair, retrieving things for me. I can't explain just how good he makes me feel sometimes. And all he does is walk over and rub his head on my knee.
I think that when you're here and you've gone through and we've selected you to be with us, whether it's a veteran or the volunteer, I think the place becomes like family. Guys, that looked so much better than what we started with. That's great. Good job.
Well, the Dog Tags program is staffed entirely by unpaid volunteers. Along with qualified trainers, each program has at least one certified social worker on site to discuss veterans' needs. Well, transitioning from life in the military to civilian life, it's something all veterans have to deal with. Fox 43 photojournalist Zach Wynn spoke with 3 vets about how their service prepared them to start their own businesses.
Working with what you had was definitely one of the most important things that I learned. I mean, submarines sometimes, where you're out at sea for a very long time, things break and you have to get creative. That's always appealed to my nature, and I think just kind of accentuated it towards our method of farming. Nine Pines Farm, we are a livestock farm, and we also do fresh cut flowers. I was a machinist mate, nuclear machinist mate, went through the nuclear power program. I did just almost about 9 years in the Navy. So I try to farm with what I can afford and farm within our means. I paid $100 for this. It didn't work when I got it, of course, and then I've made it work. Our animals are outside on grass. They're able to be in the sun and roam around and do what they do. When we moved back here, I decided to pursue my MBA, which I graduated with my MBA from York College. It'll be 2 years now, and I used my GI Bill for that. And I think that was one of the most beneficial things that has contributed to our success here at Nine Pines.
I used the tuition assistance program. It was held over in Carlisle Barracks. Our business, DTC Legal Group, is a group of lawyers. We have a case manager and we have some medical consultants, and we focus and specialize in DUI and traffic citations. This is a plaque that I was given just about 10 days ago from the PAG3. That's where I worked for about 4.5 years full-time. On a daily basis, I do a lot of writing and research. I talk to clients, update them on what's going on with their case. When I was working full-time at the Pennsylvania Army National Guard, the closest law school was Widener University. It's a Commonwealth law school. I actually went there part-time for 3 years. I would definitely recommend going to these programs, even if you're not trying to start a small business or anything like that. Just learning a lot about the VA benefits is very beneficial to a lot of people.
When I did the military to civilian transition, it was pretty rough, and this was back in '04. There wasn't a lot of support from the VA, not like there is today. I like to call myself a veteranpreneur. J-Dog is a veteran-owned and operated junk removal company. We are a national franchise. All my crews are local veterans. I myself am an Army vet. I was in the Air Defense Artillery. I worked with the Patriot missile system. I deployed for Operation Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom. My military experience 100% prepped me for this industry, because when I was in the Army, you have to have a lot of intestinal fortitude to complete the mission. And there's a lot of jobs we show up to that as soon as you walk in the house, you're ready to gag because just the smells. And we adapt, we overcome, and we look at the mission first and we just knock it out. That's something that was instilled in me in the military.
Well, thank you so much for watching A New Chapter, our Fox 43 Veteran Special. We hope you've enjoyed and learned about those from our area who have served our country. I'm Amy Lutz. We leave you with a look at Veterans Memorial Gold Star Healing and Peace Garden in York.